Hey guys, Patriot here for another review of a LED light. This one is the G42, the Xeno G42 with the XPGR5 emitter driven at 1.5 amps. You can see here it's got the nice little cardboard sleeve with the inner box. I've already had this light out, guys. I just kind of repackaged it for the video here so you can see what it looks like. This has got the little magnetic buttons in there that kind of hold this flap closed. A nice way, a nice presentation. Kind of a cool way of doing it. There's the light. It actually came with accessories. I'll show those to you a little bit later. There she is, a real good looking light. This is made by Xeno. First time I became aware of Xeno lights was with the Cube. That was that kind of rectangular looking four-sided light. Didn't really appeal to me, but when I saw this come out, I thought, you know, I'd like to check out another throw light. I don't have a good XPG thrower, so I thought that this might be a good place to start. Let's start here at the business end. You can see a real deep reflector. As a matter of fact, if I show you on the outside, this first fin here behind the anti-roll collar, that's about where the LED sits, that far down into the light. So you can see how deep that reflector is. To my knowledge, this is the deepest reflector of any of the XPGs. Another thing that kind of separates this from other lights is the quality of the reflector itself. It is flawless. I've looked at it very closely, even looked at it with a loupe. The machining marks are so fine in that reflector that they're almost invisible to the naked eye. Even with the Raptor, which has a nice reflector, it has just a very, very ultra-low orange peel, kind of wavy, ripply effect going on there. It looks smooth at first glance, but when you really look at it closely, you can see a lot of slight imperfections, just a very slight orange peel texture there, even though it's considered smooth. And looking at this DBS here, there are a lot more little machine marks in there. Now the camera's not going to show that. You're kind of going to have to take my word for it on that. But in any case, very high quality reflector, very deep reflector. You can see here I've got that nice stainless steel bezel. That is flat. They're claiming 420 lumens out the front of this light. I think that that's probably a stretch, guys. Most of the people on Candle Power forums would probably, I'm thinking they would, at 1.5 amps, I'm guessing the R5 is somewhere around 370 out the front, 350 out the front. You know, we might be up there around 400 emitter lumens, 385, somewhere in there. You guys can correct me. There's the pros are over at Candle Power forums, so I haven't looked at the data sheet for an R5 lately, a spec sheet, so unless I study that stuff all the time, I tend to, kind of drops out of memory. What's next on this thing? Mil-spec, Type 3, hard anodized, kind of a gun gray finish here. It's darker, got kind of more of a chocolate in it than the Raptor. That's kind of more of a traditional green, and it's a lot darker than most Surefire lights. I should have had one out, don't have one with me. The fit and finish on this light is beautiful. No imperfections in the hard anodizing. Threads are real smooth, and it was nice to see that they actually cleaned the threads when this light left the factory. You can see the gold spring contact there, the gold plating. It does have square type threads, single O-ring here. Should be sufficient for keeping water out. I think it's they claim water resistance to 33 feet, I believe. I think that's IPX8, but I'll have to double check that, or you guys can correct me. After 2 takes of this, I'm about spent. But in any case, I'm running a 18650 in there. I picked up one of Tactical HID's cells, the Ready Last. This is the 2900 milliamp hour, and it does have a button top on it, so it's actually protruding, which I really like. I wish AW would do that. So far so good. Battery's been performing really good. I've been running it for about 3 days now. LED, again, 1.5 amp current. Linear, no pulse width modulation. It is a 3-stage driver. Anytime I switch this light on, it's going to come on full power. It's going to come out max output. So we start off at whatever that lumen is. You know, we'll say 420 for the sake of simplicity. I turn it off, turn it back on, it's going to drop to medium. Turn it off, back on, it's going to drop to low. I can't remember, or I don't even know if I've ever known what the actual output level is on each of those, but I'm guessing this level here is somewhere between 5 or 10 lumens. It's pretty low. So I do like that it has a low. So it cycles through. Next time I turn the light back on, it comes on high again. If I turn it back off, leave it for a second, turn it back on again, it's high again. So unless you cycle within a second to the next, it's not going to drop down to medium, and then it's not going to drop down to low. So you do have to pause between each to do that. Now if you do it real fast, like let's say you want to signal somebody and maybe flash somebody with it real bright, if you click this fast enough, it does not drop down to the next level. I guess it's, you know, maybe a couple tenths of a second, something like that. But right now you can see I'm flashing this light and it's in high mode each time. I have to pause and then it'll go to medium, pause, and then it will go to low. So kind of a cool interface. Clicky, by the way, is a forward clicky. I think you guys figured that out when I just showed you how it works. Silver-plated contacts, they claim. Brass LED heatsink. It does have this built-in pocket clip right here. You can see there's kind of a lot of space because it comes off of the step here at the collar where the head screws on, and then there's kind of a big space here. You can see that this clip kind of falls midpoint in the light. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you guys. You can see this clip kind of falls midpoint in the light, so obviously if this is sticking in your pocket, there's a lot of mass, the heavy end of the light kind of wobbling around out there. So, you know, if you're going to put a pocket clip on this light, you don't have a lot of options. I mean, I guess they could have reversed it and had it hook here to the light and go face this way, but then, you know, I'm not going to be able to put this down in my pocket. That's just too... there's too much size there to have down in your pocket. It's going to look goofy. It's going to be uncomfortable. So I heard that this isn't removable. I haven't verified that yet. I'll probably do a follow-up on this and see if I can remove that. Right now, I don't mind it. It is very, very stiff. So once you put this on your pocket, the thing's pretty hard to, you know, you got to give it a good tug to pull it out of your pocket. You can see all this nice stainless steel hardware on here. Actually, I took one of the pieces off. Here's the little accessory kit. It's got a nice lanyard with a little gate clip on it. You've got 3 of these friction balls here. And what I'm trying to get to right now, there's actually another switch. It came with a spare switch and a boot cover, a couple of O-rings for the tail cap. And this is what I'm trying to get out here. This is the ring that goes underneath the tail cap. You can see it's got a slotted position there for the lanyard, and then it's got another one. You can stick a split ring or something through there. It does fit over the O-ring without too much of a struggle, so I kind of thought that that was cool. I can slip that over there. When the tail cap is completely screwed down, there is a little bit of play. In other words, this collar or this lanyard ring can move around, and you can see it's got a little bit of lateral play to it, not a whole bunch. I took it off. Unless I'm going to use a lanyard, there's really no reason to have it on there. In day-to-day carry, I'm not going to use that. I have been carrying this light for 3 days now in my back pocket. Don't really notice it too much. Noticed it the first hour I was carrying it, but after that it was just an afterthought. You can see these 2 little machine grooves here. That's one of their trademarks. Some of their lights have that. Even their little AA light has that. And at first I thought it was kind of hokey. But when I actually hold the light, my 2 middle fingers kind of go right over those grooves. And when I use it in the overhand position like this. So it's actually somewhat purposeful. Kind of get your finger down in there a little bit, and you can kind of butt up against this with your fingers, so it doesn't tend to slip out of that groove once your fingers are in there. So yeah, actually a useful feature. I thought that was pretty cool. Well, something I didn't mention yet, the knurling. It's a real nice knurling. It's not too aggressive, but it's not too smooth either. When the light's sitting here or it's sticking out of my pocket, I can you know, grab this end and I get a good purchase on the knurling here. Back to the lanyard holes. You can see there's a little wrist lanyard hole right through the tail cap there, and it did come with a wrist lanyard. I must have taken it out of the kit. You've got the 2 on the stainless collar that I showed you. You've got another attachment point or a clip attachment for split ring here on the pocket clip. And then you've got another hole drilled through this anti-roll collar here. You can see that right there. So yeah, the thing's got enough attachment points on it. 5 of them ought to keep just about anyone busy. Oh, and another thing, guys, I wanted to mention with the LED, it is absolutely perfectly centered. Just absolutely perfect. I have never owned a throw light that had such a perfectly centered emitter. You know, the Raptor here, it's a great light. It's just ever so slightly off. Makes a little tiny bit of an oblong hot spot out there, kind of a slight oval. Same with this, same with the A10, same with the A9. They've all been just a little tiny bit off. This is the DBS, by the way. Don't have the other lights in here with me. In any case, yeah, I am really impressed. The hot spot on this thing is pretty sharply defined. It does have a central hot spot, and then with a defined edge, but then moving away from the hot spot, it's a slowly, it's just a smooth, nice drop off all the way out. Hardly any spill to this light. So as you can see right here, this light coming out the side, if I put my hand over on this side or in a dark room, hardly anything is coming out of there. So the light is almost all hot spot and corona, but boy, is it a useful beam. I really, really like it. LED option when it comes to this light. You can get the cool white, which is 6500 to 7000 Kelvin, or you can get the neutral white, which I did, which is 4750 to 5000 K. 4750 to 5000 K, that's pretty much my favorite color light for a flashlight or HID, pretty much any beam. So yeah, I'm really impressed with it. I would strongly urge anyone to go for that beautiful neutral white. Boy, is that a nice departure from the cold beams that we've had in the past. Really impressed with that light. I just look at that reflector. That is just a cool looking reflector. So nice. Everyone that I've handed this light to, they look at the reflector and just ooh and ah. And really impressed with it. Everyone that I've passed it along to thought it was a pretty cool light, especially for the money. This retails for is it 92 bucks? That ain't bad for that much performance. Not bad at all. And speaking of the price, I did pick this up from Tactical HID over on over at the marketplace, Candle Power Forums marketplace. Weight of this light. Well, this thing's a sturdy son of a gun. It's real heavy. 256 grams or 9 ounces. That's without the battery. You stick an 18650 battery in there, and you've got a lot of heft. It's heavier than the Raptor. You can kind of see a size comparison there. Now, since these are right next to each other, I saw a comment on my review. I forget who posted it. It doesn't really matter. He had mentioned that the reflector was about the same size as the RRT1. This is the RRT1. That's not the same size reflector, guys. So maybe he just made a little typo there or something. But just wanted to point out those are greatly different. Now this is a Q5 emitter, and yeah, this is still going to have a hotter, a brighter hotspot. I measured the lux on this one at about 22,000, and the Raptor beats that out. Of course, it's got a smaller die in there, but you know we're looking at about 260 lumens with this one, and yeah, at least 100 more with this. This is Q5 driven at 1.2 amps, and this is an R5 driven at 1.5. So enough said there. Anyone who knows their lights will know this is a good bright light. So that's really cool for me after carrying this for so long. Nice to be able to shine this and really light something up with some nice lumens while still having a lot of throw. Now a lot of people know, Candle Power Forum people will know, but you know, we can go up to SST 50s or XMLs and make a lot more light, but they're not going to throw. So if you want to throw a lot of light, there's a little bit of trade-off. You're going to have to sacrifice a few lumens. That's not to say that these other awesome LEDs aren't very good throwers in their own right, but this is going to typically outdo those a little bit. That 22,000 lux reading was on my cheap DX light meter, so I'll try to get some more accurate results for you here in the future. Well, in the interest of not making this too long, I think we'll call that quits, guys. If you've got any questions, just send me your question in the comments section, or PM me, or jump on over to Candle Power Forums. It's in the LED section for now. Might get moved to reviews depending on what the admin wants to do there, so it doesn't matter to me either way. Anyhow, that's it. That's another Patriot Light review. I hope you guys liked it. A little bit more information than some people need, but the light gurus should like it. That's about it. Thanks, guys. Patriot out.